Students across Australia ditched their math and English lessons to protest against the political inaction on climate change. Replacing textbooks with bright, bold banners and posters, thousands of Victorian students took over the busy streets of Melbourne CBD last March to demand climate action.
I'm here striking today because I'm sick of the political inaction from the people up in Canberra. I believe that it's time to act now so that we're not, going at it too late 10 years in the future.
The global movement was inspired by 16-year-old climate activist Greta Thunberg, who went on strike back in August 2018 to protest against the Swedish government's political inaction on climate change. Her actions inspired over 150,000 students across Australia, with thousands of Victorian students gathering outside the old Treasury building to voice their concerns.
I learned so much more being here today than I would have learnt in a classroom. And it's also about environment, people skills. There's other things that you can learn being here today that aren't just specifically classroom orientated.
The strike was supported by organisations such as the Australian Conservation Foundation and Australian Education Union. However, government officials were not in favour of the strike. Education Minister Dan Tehan urged students to stay in school, labelling the strike as an appalling political manipulation. He stated to the Daily Telegraph, "The Australian public will be cynical about a so-called student-led strike that is actually organised and orchestrated by professional activists." School strike event organiser Anthony James disputes allegations that the strikes are coerced by other organisations, but agrees that the responsibility of climate change should not be in the hands of students.
It shouldn't be, but we've been put in a place where it now has to be. If our politicians acted in the 80s and the 90s when we knew this information was out there, when we knew we had to start acting, we wouldn't need school children today skipping days of school.
From music performances to 11-year-old climate activists and Pacific Island natives, many guest speakers and acts came along to the event to voice their concerns and show their support to the students. There was no shortage of adult supervision, as parents and grandparents also attended the event, many with a simple message of their own to share.
Believe the kids. They're genuinely concerned.
As the election date creeps closer and closer, students will once again be throwing up their signs, raising their voices, and coming together on May 3rd for School Strike for Climate Change's National Day of Action. Shannon Tucker reporting for Describe.